A poor farmer. The village of Sundarpur sat quietly between fields of wheat and sugarcane, where the wind carried the scent of earth and the sound of rustling crops. In this peaceful corner of the world lived Raghav, a poor farmer known for his worn-out clothes, cracked hands, and eyes filled with silent hope. Raghav had only one thing in abundance: hard work. But life had never been kind to him: the struggle. Every morning, before the sun even peeked over the horizon, Raghav walked to his small patch of land, a land that gave him wheat one year and heartbreak the next. His tools were old, his soil was dry, his debts were rising, but still, he worked like the earth would one day repay him with kindness. Yet that kindness never came. One year, the rains came too late. The next year, they came too early. And the third year, they didn't come at all. His crops dried, his income vanished, his hopes withered with the very plants he had nurtured. People whispered, "Raghav is cursed. Nothing grows on his land. He should quit farming." But Raghav didn't quit. Not because he was stubborn, but because he had a family to feed and a daughter, Sia, who dreamed of studying in the city. He couldn't let her dreams die. The breaking point. One afternoon, as Raghav sold the last few vegetables he had left, the shopkeeper offered him barely enough money to buy a single meal. Raghav's shoulders slumped. His eyes burned. For the first time in years, he felt truly defeated. That night, as he sat outside his hut, Sia came with a small lantern and sat beside him. "Baba," she said softly, "if the earth is tired, maybe you should try something new." Her innocent words struck him deeper than any failure ever had. He looked at the barren land stretching under the moonlight and whispered, "What can a poor farmer try?" A new idea. The next morning, while passing through the weekly market, Raghav noticed something unusual. A group of farmers gathered around a stall selling organic compost and new types of seeds. The seller spoke excitedly about modern farming techniques that used less water and gave higher yield. Raghav listened quietly, and something inside him flickered awake. Hope. He had barely any money, but he invested everything he had left into a few packets of seeds and a bag of compost. He didn't know if it would work. He didn't know if he would fail again, but he knew one thing: he couldn't give up. The hardest season of his life. For the next 3 months, Raghav worked harder than ever. He woke before sunrise. He slept after midnight. He dug, planted, watered, and prayed. Villagers laughed. "New seeds won't change anything. He's wasting effort. He's a fool." But Sia stood by him every day. "Baba, keep going. Even the sun rises only after darkness." And so he kept going. The miracle one morning, as the sun cast its golden glow over the fields, Raghav walked to his land and stopped. His breath caught, his eyes widened, his heart pounded. His land, was covered in green. Not just any green, a bright, lush, living green he hadn't seen in years. The plants were growing, strong, healthy, and full of life. Sia ran into the field, laughing with joy. "Baba, it worked! It worked!" Tears streamed down Raghav's face. After years of failure, years of pain, life had finally given him a chance. The rise by harvest season, Raghav's crops were the best in the entire village. Traders offered him prices he had never imagined. His income tripled. Farmers came to him for advice. The same people who laughed at him now said, "Teach us, Raghav. How did you do it?" Raghav didn't feel proud. He felt grateful, because he knew how it felt to fail, and how much courage it took to stand again. He used his earnings to pay off debts, repair his home, and, most importantly, send Sia to the city school she had dreamed of. When she boarded the bus, she held his hand tightly and said, "You didn't just grow crops, Baba. You grew hope." Raghav smiled, looking at his green fields swaying in the wind. "For a farmer," he whispered, "hope is the strongest seed." Moral of the story: Even the hardest soil can bloom if you sow it with courage, and even the poorest farmer can rise if he refuses to give up.